The mysterious disappearance of Liga Skromane stirred up fear and curiosity across Kerala, India, revealing a disturbing web of secrets and tensions that ultimately led to a tragic outcome. Liga Skromane was a 33-year-old Latvian woman. She was born in Latvia in 1986, into a close-knit family with an older brother and a younger sister named Ilse. The two sisters were very close. Liga later moved to Ireland but stayed in regular contact with her family. In Ireland, Liga met Andrew Jordan. Initially, it wasn't love at first sight, as Liga was shy and had trouble meeting new people. However, after 5 years, their relationship blossomed. They made plans for a future together, with Liga dreaming of opening a yoga retreat in Portugal. Although Liga worked at a hotel and lived a simple life, Andrew supported her dream. Together, they saved money for 4 years, hoping to bring their vision to life. In early 2018, Liga was struggling with a worsening skin condition that caused both physical pain and emotional distress. To help her cope, her sister Ilse invited her on a trip to improve her health. In February 2018, the two sisters traveled to Trivandrum, the capital of Kerala. From Trivandrum, they traveled to Kovalam, a small village that is known for its renowned Ayurvedic wellness resorts and where Liga could receive Ayurvedic therapy for her depression. They joined a renowned Ayurvedic clinic in Kovalam for an Ayurvedic wellness program, where both sisters underwent the therapy together. It offers a peaceful setting for relaxation and healing, making it an ideal place for Liga's recovery. They traveled there in search of spiritual healing, hoping to overcome depression through the wellness program. Their 6-week itinerary included daily yoga sessions, meditation, herbal remedies, and specialized massages. On March 14th, Liga told her sister Ilse that she was feeling unwell and had a headache, so she would skip the yoga class. When Ilse returned to their room, she found that Liga was missing. With the help of the hotel staff, Ilse learned that her sister had left the hotel around 11:30 a.m. She had been dressed in leggings and a yoga t-shirt, hired an auto rickshaw, and headed to Kovalam Beach for a walk. The beaches in Kovalam are always bustling with both local and international visitors. Despite the busy crowds, Ilse asked around the beach for any sightings of Liga, but there were no leads. This struck Ilse as odd, given that Liga was a tall, fair-skinned woman who would have stood out in the crowd. If she had been on the beach, someone would have noticed her. After hours of searching and showing her sister's photo to beachgoers, Ilse returned to the hotel with no news of Liga. Ilse then went to the local police station in Kovalam to report her sister's disappearance. However, the police showed little urgency or concern, brushing off her worries with casual remarks, saying that the young woman must have simply wandered off and would either return soon or be found without much effort. They were dismissive, even when Ilse explained that Liga had a history of psychological issues and could be vulnerable to exploitation or harm. Despite the seriousness of the situation, the police filed a missing persons report, but the investigation remained stagnant, lacking any real action. Ilse, an experienced traveler who had spent time in various parts of Kerala, had hoped her trip with her sister would be a chance to share her love for India. Instead, it was turning into a nightmare. Frustrated by the lack of progress from the authorities, Ilse took matters into her own hands. She began organizing her own search efforts, reaching out to friends for support and updating Liga's partner Andrew. Concerned for Liga's safety, Andrew flew to India as quickly as possible. The case finally gained some traction after Andrew and Ilse involved the local media. They contacted journalists and began a social media campaign, hoping to raise awareness about Liga's disappearance. Ilse posted a heartfelt plea on Twitter, tagging India's foreign minister, to help find her sister who has been missing for 8 days. Desperate for any lead, Ilse also offered a reward of 1 lakh rupees for information that could help locate her sister or clarify her whereabouts. Ilse's friend Alexa, who had also come to India upon hearing the news, joined her in the search. Together, they distributed flyers with Liga's picture throughout the Kovalam area, particularly around the beach where she was last seen. Locals were touched by the story, joined in the effort, eager to assist in the search. Liga had suffered from depression, which made her hesitant to interact with strangers, and had only 3,000 rupees with her when she took the auto rickshaw to the beach. This was a very small amount of money. She had also left without her passport, which ruled out the possibility of her leaving the country. Still, there was no sign of Liga, and the mystery deepened as each day passed without any updates. The head of the local police station said they had no clues about Liga's whereabouts. The police suggested that she might have gone on a drinking spree or run away with someone, and they believed she would return soon. However, Ilse and Andrew kept pushing for the police to take the case seriously. Eventually, they started searching the area around the beach, where Liga was last seen. The police initially suspected that she had drowned, and when an unidentified woman's body washed up in another district, they investigated it and Ilse confirmed that it was not her sister. Meanwhile, Andrew believed that his partner had been kidnapped by local gangs and possibly sold. He tried to get information by trying to infiltrate these gangs, but was caught and warned to stop or would be forced to leave India. A month passed with no new leads, but Ilse kept searching every day. She spent time at the beach, watching the people, waiting for someone to show up with answers, and one day she noticed a boat, which led her to think that someone could leave the beach unnoticed by boat. On April 17, 2018, Andrew returned to India to continue the search after a forced break. The Latvian government was in close contact with both Liga's family and the Indian police. The Latvian embassy also appealed to the Indian Foreign Ministry for help. At the request of the Kerala state government, the Indian Navy and Air Force joined the search. The operation involved an N-32 transport plane, inflatable Gemini boats, underwater sonar equipment, and 5 deep-sea divers. Despite these efforts, there was still no sign of Liga. The search continued, and by this time, the local community was well aware of the missing woman's story and offered their support to Ilse and Andrew. On April 20, 2018, 2 young men went fishing near a mangrove forest at dawn. One of them went into the water to tie up the boat, but he noticed a strong and unpleasant odor nearby. The 2 followed the smell and discovered a body hanging from a tree with the severed head on the ground. They quickly left the area and went to the nearest village to report their discovery. Police and forensic experts arrived, confirming the body had been hanging for some time and had already started decomposing. They found personal items nearby, such as cigarettes, bottled water, and a lighter. Ilse received a call from police that a body had been discovered in an isolated mangrove jungle. Ilse and Andrew rushed to the location where police had arranged for them to be taken by boat. When they arrived at the scene, the sight was devastating. Ilse recognized her sister's clothes the police had shown them, but the jacket and shoes on the body did not belong to Liga. It was unclear how or why Liga ended up in this remote location. Why would someone choose to travel to such a secluded place on her own, especially by a boat? After that, the body was sent to the medical college hospital, where it was autopsied and recorded on video. The police stated that until DNA analysis was completed, they would not be able to confirm the identity of the body. According to the police, the head was lying close by, and the body was severely disfigured due to decomposition. The deceased woman has been provisionally recognized by police as Liga Skromane, a missing tourist. Later, Liga's family were able to identify the victim based on her clothing, belongings, and hair, which further supports the investigators' findings. Liga's body was finally found after 1 month of her missing. Liga's family blamed the Indian police for not acting quickly enough, believing the tragedy could have been prevented. The authorities suggested that the person might have poisoned themselves with fruit from a poisonous local tree. They even considered the possibility that she might have taken her own life due to personal struggles. But this seemed unlikely given the circumstances. The body was hanging upside down and the head was found nearby. Liga's body would have been in a completely different position if she had been poisoned, and Ilse was worried that the police might write off her sister's death as loss of life by self-harm. Andrew thought that the authorities are trying to hide the truth about Liga's murder to avoid scaring away tourists. Ilse and the public anxiously awaited the results of the forensic tests. When the results came in, they were shocking. The forensic report showed that there were blood clots in some parts of Liga's brain, and there were bruises on her neck. The autopsy confirmed that she had been strangled by multiple people in a violent attack. There were signs of a struggle, with injuries likely caused during the fight. Because the body was in the decomposition stage, it was hard to confirm all the details. However, the injuries to her throat clearly showed that someone had applied force to choke her. Ilse hoped the police would soon find her sister's killers. The police started investigating local substance dealers and card players. A special investigation team began searching for those responsible, interviewing about 40 suspects. The police arrested 2 individuals, Umesh, 32, and Udhayakumar, 28, who had approached Liga under the false pretense of being tour guides. They offered to show her the local attractions and took her to the isolated mangrove forest by boat. They then provided her with substances and essayed her. When she started to regain consciousness, they attacked her and strangled her to death. They worked for a food delivery company and also earned money as unlicensed tour guides. Both men had a history of similar offenses. The location where Liga's body was found had previously been used by Umesh as a pleasure ground for his own activities, and he often brought both men and women there. Umesh has been involved in 13 criminal cases, and several of his past victims have testified against him. After multiple rounds of questioning, the men eventually pleaded guilty. After 4 years, on December 6, 2022, the court sentenced both men to life in prison. Additionally, the court ordered them to pay a compensation of 1.65 lakh each to Liga's sister, Ilse. Ilse is working extra hours at her beauty salon in Ireland to pay off the debts from the legal battle she fought to secure justice for Liga. In the end, the case of Liga Skromane's disappearance brought closure to her loved ones, but the scars of the tragedy lingered, serving as a reminder of the fragile line between trust and betrayal. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel for more true crime content. See you next time.